बोले सर्वेश्वर भगवान की जय, गंगा मैया की जय, भारत माता की जय, धरती माता की जय, हर हर महादेव।
Param Puja Swamiji, all of our sisters and brothers from across India and across the world, it's such a beautiful blessing and a beautiful gift each day to look out and to see our global family of with us for our evening yagna and Aarti ceremony. It's the time of day that Puja Swamiji calls our evening happy hour. It's a happy hour with no hangover, and a happy hour where the happiness lasts not 60 minutes, but actually 24 hours. It's a happiness not of the bottle, but a happiness of bhakti, means devotion, love. A time in which, instead of drowning our sorrows, we're connected with the divine. And what's so beautiful about it is that it doesn't matter what religion you come from, it doesn't matter what language you speak, it doesn't matter what your spiritual or cultural tradition may be. The power of the banks of Mother Ganga, the power of the lap of the Himalayas, the power of the sacred chanting of the Vedic mantras is such that regardless of the path you walked to get here, regardless of the religion you identify with or the culture you identify with, that this power is so much that it connects us. It connects us to the truth of who we are, connects us to each other, connects us to all of creation. There's a beautiful saying in America. They say, the family that prays together stays together. And whether that's a family of two people, a husband and wife, whether it's a family of four, a mother, father, and some kids, whether it's an extended family, or whether it's a global family, doesn't matter what our definition of family is. When we pray together, we stay together. And just as it's important for our nuclear families to stay together, So when we come together to pray to the divine by any name or no name, by any form or no form, it doesn't matter. But when we come together to pray to that divine of every name and every form, of the nameless and the formless, when we come together in love, when we come together in oneness, when we come together in devotion, we stay together. Each evening as we gather here in prayer and in connection, Puja Swamiji always reminds us that it's not enough to worship the Creator. If our worship, if our love, if our devotion, if our prayers are really deep and really real and really meaningful, they're not just for one nameless, formless, or named or formed Creator, but it actually is for the entire creation. Because the creation has been created not just by, but of the Creator. And so that Creator whom we love, whom we worship, to whom we pray, upon whom we meditate, is present in all of the creation, is present in our water, is present in our trees, is present in our mountains, is present in our air, in our soil, is present in all the species, about all of the forms of the Mother Goddess, the forms whom we worship in our mandirs, the forms in our mothers, in our daughters, in our sisters, in our grandmothers. We spoke about the forms in our Mother Nature, Mother Earth. And today, in honor of International Women's Day. Yesterday we had such a beautiful performance that we ran out of time for our beloved Rishi Kumars. We have a beautiful short drama about a great moment in Indian history, a great moment in world history, and two great beings of history. Anandibai Joshi, who is known as the first female doctor of India. She was born in the 1860s in a time when girls barely got a higher education at all, let alone could even conceive of becoming a doctor. She was married off at the age of 9. At an age when children should be playing. And she was married off to a man, Gopal, who was almost 20 years older than she was. And as I mentioned yesterday, as well as the day before, as we've been celebrating this fact, our Global Interfaith Wash Alliance, in partnership with UNICEF, we had a very large event in the Kumbh Mela at the end of January on the banks of the Sangam, of the Ganga, the Yamuna, and the Saraswati rivers, of women's empowerment. It was an event we did with UNICEF, with WSSCC, to raise awareness amongst thousands and thousands of women from the villages, as well as those who were touched through loudspeakers that went throughout the entire Kumbh, through the media that went on TV and the radio across the nation and across the world, who were touched and inspired through a campaign to end child marriage. And from that event at the end of January, with UNICEF, we've been doing this campaign of getting signatures on our Global Interfaith WASH Alliance. WASH stands for Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene flag, getting signatures of people pledging to end child marriage, villagers pledging, townspeople pledging that before they get their young girls or their young boys married, that they would give them their education, that no more shadi means marriage before shiksha means education, that always shiksha pehle shadi baad. First education, marriage later. And we passed the Guinness Book of World Record number of signatures on a flag. We've passed 100,000 signatures of people that they will not get their young girls married, will not marry off their boys to young girls before their bodies get sent off into marriage. And I mention this great news again today because as we have our drama by the Rishi Kumars, it's this drama of Anandibai Joshi, who at the age of 14 gave birth to a baby boy who lived only 10 days due to lack of medical care, due of course also to being born by such a young mother. And she pledged in the midst of her grief that no woman, no mother should have to bear what she bore of the grief of losing her child. She went off. It's a long story. You'll see the story. But for my sisters and brothers who don't speak Hindi, and the drama's in Hindi, I'm just giving you a little bit of the preview so you can follow along the great drama. So her husband, who's a hero, and as we celebrate Anandibai and we celebrate the first female physician, we must celebrate the man who did not beat his wife for not cooking properly, for not cleaning properly, for not doing the things that tragically men beat their wives for. Instead, he became stern with her, strong with her, only when she didn't study. This was a man who told his wife, "You must study," who was more concerned about her studies than about the salt in his food or what was for dinner. And with his encouragement, she completed her studies in India as much as she could, and then she went off to America, where she actually got an MD degree alone, a teenager, by boat off to America, where she got her MD degree. So our beautiful, beautiful drama is a drama of an incredibly powerful young woman, an incredibly courageous, visionary, compassionate, human husband. We talk about becoming doctors, becoming lawyers, becoming business people, becoming engineers, becoming fathers and mothers. And we forget how important it is to just be human. And her husband is such a beautiful example of a human in touch with his heart, with the heart of his wife, with what is really important and true. And as we watch their drama, we smile. We smile about the 100,000 plus people who have pledged in a state where rates of child marriage are way too high, who have pledged, "Not my daughter," no child marriage, yes to education, no to marriage, yes to shiksha, no to shadi, until the education is done. So we smile and we celebrate the achievements of today as we watch and celebrate the one who laid the example for girls and women and men and husbands, not only in this nation, but across the world, our beautiful Rishi Kumars. And yes, these are not professional actors. These are our wonderful Rishi Kumars of the Parmarth Guru, who usually are in yellow dhotis and kurta, unless they are playing Anandibai and Gopalji, her husband.
देखो, मैं तुम्हारे लिए क्या लाया हूँ।
ये किताबें किसकी है?
ये किताबें तुम्हारी पढ़ाई के लिए है।
अभी से ही?
तुमने शादी के समय मुझे वचन दिया था ना कि तुम पढ़ोगी, तो बस अब से तुम्हारी पढ़ाई शुरू।
पर आस पड़ोस में किसी को पता चल गया तो कितनी बदनामी होगी, लोग थू थू करेंगे। औरतें घर का काम करते हुए शोभा देती है।
बाकी सब मैं संभाल लूंगा।
ये मैं बाद में देख लूंगी। अच्छा सुनिए ना, इसका बुखार तो उतर ही नहीं रहा है।
कहा था ना तुमसे कि अस्पताल में जाकर प्रसव करवा लेते हैं, पर तुमने मेरी एक ना सुनी। पता है ऐसे समय में बच्चे और माँ का अस्पताल में होना कितना जरूरी होता है।
नहीं जी, मर्द के हाथों प्रसव कराने में लाज आती है। किसी भी अस्पताल में कोई महिला डॉक्टर ही नहीं है।
इसका माथा तो अंगार की तरह तप रहा है।
क्या? दीजिए।
ये तुम क्या कर रहे हो आनंदी?
भगवान की बबूती लगा रही हूँ।
बस आनंदी, ये सब अंधविश्वास होता है।
आप यकीन तो कीजिए, इसका बुखार उतर रहा है और माथा भी ठंडा पड़ रहा है ना बाबू? देखिए। उठो बाबू, आंखें खोलो। देखो माँ बुला रही है। आंखें खोलो बेटा। उठो बाबू, आंखें खोलो। तुम्हें माँ बुला रही है बेटा। देखिए ना इसे, क्या हो गया? ये आंखें भी नहीं खोल रहा और हिल भी नहीं रहा है। उठो बाबू, आंखें खोलो। देखो तुम्हारी माँ बुला रही है। क्या हो गया? आप चुप क्यों हो गए? हमारा बाबू ठीक तो है ना? आंखें खोलो बेटा, आंखें खोलो।
आनंदी,
This is a few months later, ये कुछ महीने के बाद।
कुछ नहीं है यहाँ आनंदी, बंद करो ये पागलपन। तुम अनपढ़ की अनपढ़ गवार।
नहीं रहूंगी मैं अनपढ़। मैं पढ़ूंगी ताकि कल किसी माँ को इलाज के अभाव में अपना बच्चा ना खोना पड़े। मैं पढ़ूंगी।
किस्मत एक टेढ़ी बाजी है, तुम हाथ पकड़ लो इरादे का, अगर दिल राजी
सूरज पृथ्वी के चक्कर काटता है।
अरे सूरज पृथ्वी के नहीं, पृथ्वी सूरज के चक्कर काटता है, समझी? चलो गवार।
आप मुझे गवार मत बोलिए ना।
लगन की बाजी है, चोट भी ताजी है, लगा दे दाव पर दिल अगर दिल राजी है।
राज शर्म तो बेच खाई है इस गोपाल राव ने। अपनी बीवी को कौन पढ़ाता है भैया?
अरे कल को पढ़ लिख के उन्हीं के सर पे नाचेगी ना तब।
कलयुग है भैया, कलयुग। इस चक्कर में पूरी दुनिया देख लेना पातालोक में जाएगी। हाँ।
क्या हुआ?
कुछ नहीं।
बेहतर। अब चलो।
अगर दिल राजी है, अगर दिल राजी है, राजी है, राजी है, अगर दिल राजी
आनंदी, तुम्हें शिष्यवृत्ति मिली है। ये लो तुम्हारे अमेरिका का टिकट।
क्या? लेकिन आप, मैं अकेले सब कैसे कर पाऊंगी?
आनंदी, अपने आप को इतना कमजोर क्यों समझ रही हो? तब इतने पढ़ने लिखने का क्या फायदा? तुम वैसी की गवार की गवार।
अब मैं गवार नहीं रही।
A very, very big round of applause for our Naresh and Ayush for putting on such a, not just a beautiful and touching, but truly inspiring performance. There was a line in the beginning when he's telling her, study, 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 and she says, what will people say? People will make fun of us. People will criticize us. What will people say about you? What will they say about me? What will the neighbors say? And you wonder how much of our incredible history, of our incredible visionary leaders, almost didn't happen because people were worried about what the neighbors would say. And as we come together in our time of prayer and deep connection, it's so important to realize that for us to truly connect with that truth within ourselves and to have that courage, that open-hearted courage, we need to worry much more about what does my conscience say? What does my relationship with God say? Than just what do the neighbors say. So again, a very big round of applause for Naresh and Ayush. And also in memory, a round of applause for Anandibai and Gopal Rao for being truly the embodiments of such a beautiful historical shift. And yes, this is a young man who played Anandibai. Young boy. International Yoga Festival completed day before yesterday. Yesterday, so many of our global international yoga festival participants went back to their cities and their countries all over the world. Today, we're joined by so many more of our sisters and brothers from so many cities and countries all over the world. And so every day here is a day that we celebrate yoga, a day that we celebrate that true union, that coming together of ourself with the divine and ourself with all of creation. With us today is the beautiful team and family of the Indian Yoga Association, an association of more than 30 institutes of India coming together to ensure that the teachings, the ancient, traditional, timeless teachings of yoga are upheld, are maintained, are preserved, and are spread throughout the country and throughout the world. That yoga is not just what we do with our bodies, but yoga is how we live our lives. That union is not, as we always say, just about our nose to our knee or our fingers to our toes, but a union of the self to the creator and the creation. And so yoga is in every minute and every moment of our life, how we live, how we eat, how we speak, how we dress, how we shop, how we move through the minutes and moments and hours of our life. And those teachings are deeply embedded in the Indian yogic tradition. And to preserve and protect and share those, the Indian Yoga Association has brought together the main of them. Sure, of course. Our Ganga Nandini, who frequently represents Paramarth Niketan in most of the meetings of the India Yoga Association, and so much of the planning and the execution of those programs through Paramarth, will also say a few words about them. I wanted simply to mention lastly that with them we have a wonderful young woman, a wonderful Shakti. Ah, okay. So Nandini ji is going to tell us about her then.
So, in line with what Pujya Sadhviji was sharing, and in line with the beautiful play that we just watched, which was not just a play but a prerna, and we have a woman with us who has come in through the Indian Yoga Association, and is a great honor to recognize and celebrate her accomplishment and achievement through the Indian Yoga Association. Dr. Nagratna Didi, she has just published a paper which is the largest study on diabetes and yoga in India, and probably even the world. It's about 2.5 lakh diabetes patients that they have basically studied on how yoga and the yogic protocol to prevent and treat diabetes can help those who are ailing with diabetes. And it's part of a campaign called Niyantrit Madhumeh Bharat, which is Diabetes Free India. And they actually just presented the paper in San Francisco with the American Diabetes Association, I believe, and it won special award with the Vivian Francesca and Nagendra Family Diabetes Research Award. So we would especially like to honor her on this occasion. If she can come forward to get a special Rudraksha, Mala and blessing from Pujya Swamiji. And in addition, we would like to welcome with us the Vice President of the Indian Yoga Association, Dr. Subodh Tiwari ji.
भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि।
ओम जय गंगे माता मैया जय गंगे माता जो नर तुमको ध्याता जो नर मैया जी को ध्याता मन वांछित फल पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। चंद्र से ज्योत तुम्हारी जो निर्मल आता मैया जल निर्मल आता शरण पड़े जो तेरी शरण पड़े जो तेरी सोनर तर जाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। मैया शरणागति आता यम के काश मिटा कर यम के कष्ट मिटा कर परम गति पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। कारिणी मैया तू है सुखदाता मैया तू है सुखदाता तेरी गोद में आकर तेरी शरण में आकर मन शांति पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। गाता मैया प्रेम सहित गाता दास वही है सहज में भक्त वही है सहज में
मुक्ति को पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता जय गंगे माता मैया जय गंगे माता जो नर तुमको ध्याता जो नर मैया जी को ध्याता मन वांछित फल पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता जय गंगे माता जय गंगे माता। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् शान्तिः शान्तिः। जय जय राधारमण हरि बोल हरि बोल। जय जय राधारमण हरि बोल। जय
राधारमण हरि बोल हरि बोल। जय जय राधारमण हरि बोल।
जय जय राधारमण हरि बोल हरि बोल। जय जय राधा।
जय जय राधारमण हरि बोल।
जय जय राधारमण हरि बोल हरि बोल। जय जय राधारमण हरि बोल। जय राधारमण हरि बोल हरि बोल।
जय जय राधारमण हरि बोल।
जय जय
राधारमण जय जय राधारमण जय जय राधारमण
हरि बोल। जय जय राधारमण हरि बोल हरि बोल।
जय जय राधारमण
जय जय
राधारमण जय जय राधारमण
हरि बोल। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः।